She's probably a teenager now. That poor girl. Meghan just dumped her in an orphanage. The fallout from that hasty wedding at 19. I'm her father, but I screwed up by shielding her too much, letting her pull off all those unethical stunts.
Harry, to put it politely, I think she is very manipulative. Meghan Markle is someone who's basically got rid of almost her entire family on her side, apart from her mother, her entire family on the father's side, including her father, which is incredibly sad. And now she's wrestled Harry away from his family.
She's probably a teenager now. That poor girl. Meghan just dumped her in an orphanage. Those words, heavy with regret and accusation, came from the one man who has consistently claimed to know Meghan Markle better than anyone else, her father, Thomas Markle. In an interview that detonated across tabloids and online forums, Thomas alleged that Meghan had a daughter at just 19 years old, born from a secret first marriage, and that the child was abandoned in an orphanage. "I'm her father," he said, his voice reportedly breaking. "And I messed up by shielding her too much, by letting her get away with unethical things." This wasn't just another family dispute spilling into the public eye. If true, it would represent a revelation capable of completely rewriting the narrative Meghan has spent decades constructing, one built on empowerment, reinvention, and transparency. For years, the world has watched Meghan Markle shape her image. Actress, humanitarian, duchess, global advocate. But beneath that polished exterior, whispers have lingered. Hints of sealed chapters. Stories that never quite disappeared, only waited. Now, those whispers have been amplified into a direct accusation from her estranged father, an accusation so severe it reframes not only her past, but her present. Thomas Markle has spoken publicly before, often dismissed as bitter or opportunistic. But this time, the tone felt different. Less rage. More confession. He positioned himself not as an innocent bystander, but as an enabler, someone who protected secrets for too long and now lives with the consequences. The timing immediately raised questions. Why speak now? What proof exists? And how does this claim fit into the constellation of long-circulating rumors about Meghan's early life? As the story unfolds, it pulls at threads of alleged hidden marriages, concealed pregnancies, and fractured family ties. For a woman whose public brand emphasizes compassion and female empowerment, the accusation cuts deeply, suggesting a moment in her youth when ambition, fear, and secrecy collided with devastating consequences. Observers noted the bitterness beneath Thomas's sorrow. A father near 80, isolated, publicly estranged, and still never introduced his son-in-law. His pain feels personal, but the claim demands scrutiny beyond emotion. According to Thomas, the alleged events trace back to Meghan's college years. Rumors of a secret first marriage have circulated online for years, but his interview reignited them with new specificity. The alleged groom is named as Joseph Goldberg Giuliano, a lawyer whose academic timeline overlaps with Meghan's time at Northwestern University between 1999 and 2003. He studied law. Meghan pursued theater and international studies. Online speculation suggests a 2-year relationship that culminated in a quiet, private ceremony, so discreet that, allegedly, even Giuliano's parents were unaware until after it occurred. The marriage, if it existed, was reportedly annulled swiftly, supposedly under pressure from his family, who disapproved of the union. Sources describe it as a shotgun wedding, implying an unplanned pregnancy that accelerated the vows. A Catholic ceremony. Minimal witnesses. No celebration. No easily traceable public records. Annulments, particularly when handled discreetly, can leave almost no paper trail. Giuliano's current life offers few clues. Now a criminal defense attorney in Boston, his online presence is sparse and professional. But his educational timeline aligns cleanly with Meghan's early years, a detail that keeps skeptics engaged. What gives this rumor traction is not proof, but plausibility. Meghan's official biography moves quickly past her early 20s, focusing instead on her acting career and her later marriage to Trevor Engelson. Yet the idea of an annulled marriage quietly removed from her narrative has persisted. Thomas's claim adds weight. He implies he knew and helped hide it. If such a marriage existed, why erase it so completely? Family pressure? Cultural conflict? Or a child who complicated everything? At the center of Thomas's accusation is that child. A daughter allegedly born during the chaos of that brief marriage and now, by his estimate, a teenager. He claims Meghan, overwhelmed and only 19, placed the child in an orphanage. She dumped her, he said bluntly. The language is harsh, but it underscores the gravity of the allegation. This is not just a secret, it is a human life altered by youthful decisions. A girl who may have grown up without knowing her origins. Details remain scarce. Speculation fills the gaps. Perhaps financial arrangements were made. Perhaps promises of care replaced parental presence. Perhaps Thomas himself helped facilitate the silence. He admits he shielded her too much, suggesting more than passive knowledge. The orphanage element adds another layer of tragedy. In an era before streamlined adoptions, such institutions were often final destinations, places where identities vanished. Context matters. A teenager facing stigma, ambition colliding with fear, career dreams at risk. But the allegation stands in stark contrast to Meghan's public advocacy. How does one reconcile championing women's rights and maternal well-being with allegedly abandoning a child? As the rumor spread, scrutiny widened. Meghan's family estrangement, long a source of controversy, took on new meaning. Why was only Doria Ragland present at Meghan's wedding to Prince Harry? Why were no other relatives invited? Officially, Thomas's absence was due to health issues. But online forums have long speculated about deliberate exclusion, about silencing people who might speak out. If a secret child existed, the risk of unscripted conversations would have been enormous. Thomas has repeatedly emphasized that he has never met Prince Harry. He argues this violates basic family norms. He portrays himself not as a disgraceful figure, but as a successful Hollywood professional who funded Meghan's education and early career. Why erase him unless he knew too much? Samantha Markle's role adds complexity. While outspoken about other alleged inconsistencies, she has been notably restrained on this specific claim. Some interpret that as protection of an innocent teenager. Others speculate about NDAs or financial agreements keeping certain lines uncrossed. The guest list at Meghan's wedding, packed with celebrities rather than family, has been cited as further evidence of image curation over blood ties. Vanity to some, strategy to others. Additional claims surfaced in 2025 from Thomas Jr., alleging Meghan presented herself to the royal family as an orphan with no siblings. If true, it would align with a broader pattern of severing ties to prevent scrutiny. Online investigators have seized on fragments. Old social media posts. Alleged profile photos of Giuliano with a young biracial girl. Videos where acquaintances casually reference Meghan having been married before or having a child. None conclusive. All provocative. A resurfaced interview clip from actress Paula Trickey ignited further speculation when she casually remarked that Meghan had already been married and had a child, then laughed it off. Online communities dissected the moment endlessly. Forums like Reddit, Quora, and Facebook groups have woven these fragments into sprawling theories, some restrained, others extreme. NDAs. Payments. Erased records. Multiple hidden pregnancies. The claims vary wildly, but they orbit the same unresolved center. What keeps the story alive is not evidence, but silence. No denials. No lawsuits. No direct refutation. Thomas Markle continues to speak, framing his revelations as a reckoning rather than revenge. He presents himself as a lonely father nearing the end of his life, burdened by secrets and regret. If proof were ever produced, documents, DNA, testimony, the fallout would be seismic. Not just for Meghan, but for institutions connected to her narrative. Until then, the story exists in limbo. Too detailed to dismiss easily, too unproven to confirm. Rumors can fade, but some linger. And as Thomas's words echo across the internet, one question remains suspended in the air. Will silence be enough, or will the alleged secret daughter one day step forward and end the speculation forever? The world is watching,